Oh hey, I thought to redecorate a little since it's the Halloween seasonal, you know? So, I really like Monster High G3. It might have been a bit obvious by the series I tend to draw, or the way I spoke in my Crush Your Girls video about their dolls, but I'm a bit of a doll collector myself. I primarily collect Rainbow High, but I do have a few brats, and it's only been the last 2 years I've really started to get into Monster High, with the release of its newest generation, G3, and I gotta say, I'm really loving it. So, for those that might not know, Monster High is a multimedia doll franchise produced by Mattel, following the teenage children of pop culture monsters the likes of Dracula, Frankenstein, or Medusa, as well as other folklore and cryptids. The series really developed its world, characters, and their relationships through the webisodes, many films, and the little journals the dolls would come with, which, speaking of, the dolls were just great. While I'm not much of a fan of G1, the quality of outfits, dark and sharp makeup, and twinge of gothic style into everyone's looks is beautiful, and just on first glance, everyone screams out their personality and style in their own unique way. Similarly to My Little Pony, Monster High can be separated into generations, with Generation 1 living on with many Collector or General Collector releases, but today I'm not talking about G1, and I'll be skipping over G2 because that's a whole different conversation in itself. But hey, the movies looked really good, and I do like their webisode's kind of sharp polygon aesthetic. I'll be talking about G3, so let's get back into it. As much as I like G3, I do have to acknowledge it did have a bit of a rocky start, as before the dolls were even shown off or released officially, leaks were flying around everywhere in a bit of a you just had to be there sort of moment, and causing a bit of chaos with people responding negatively, let's put it, to the newer pastel and brighter designs. Upon initial release in October 2022, I could get the mixed reception. While I did come to love the designs, especially Draculaura and Frankie, who I just think are exceptional, Clawdeen is very much a mixed bag of interesting ideas, not executed well, and Lagoona took some time to love, not even because of the pink skin. I just thought her outfit was really ugly and mismatched with her whole aesthetic. However, despite the negativity and this always talk of doom with G3 and how they should just give up on it, the G3 dolls have really come to grow and flourish over the years. I really love all the new core refresh looks, the newer iteration of characters like Venus and Caddy are just out of this world, and with lines like Monsterfest and Fibbit Committee, I can't wait to see what they've got in store for us next. I just wanted to look back 2 years later and give my hand at redesigning the Ghoul Squad's core designs, revamp them a little, you know? I'll be starting from characters I don't think need the most changes, all the way along to characters I change the most, and I don't want to stray too far away from their initial concept, but I will be honest, I did go a little overly detailed with their designs. I wanted to try and pull back and match their sort of doll aesthetics and the budgets that would come with that, but that quickly got thrown out the window. But I hope you're happy with how they look, so let's get into it. Starting off the Ghoul Squad is Frankie, and I really like Frankie. I think the G3 design is so cute, with the pastel academic style using pink, blue, and whites to tie into the trans flag, reflecting the new they-them pronouns, which is such a brilliant idea. And as you might guess, if they're going first, it means I don't want to change too much of their style. I think my main goal is just to bring back their shaved head look, as despite the TV show and movies pushing it, Frankie only has 2 dolls that actually feature it, so I want to give some justice to it, but also mixing a bit of a Hemi cut in there, and lots of rough, sharp cut edges, as if they cut it themselves. I even changed their cheek scar to more of a nose scar, just because I thought it looked cuter, and it made the face a bit more even, but I did leave the makeup mostly as is, as I think the sullen, ashy-eyed look fits perfectly for Frankenstein's monster. As much as I do love the pink and blue, I want to bring in some greens as accents, kind of harking back to the green skin tone of G1 Frankie, really play up those primary colours. Small tangent, I always hear people complain about Frankie being blue and missing the neck bolts, but not many seem to realize Frankie had to be changed for G3, due to Universal having the copyright to Frankenstein's monster design. So unless you get approval from Universal for certain features such as a green skin tone, bolts, scar, big forehead, and a flat top, you risk being taken to court, and Mattel isn't exactly looking for a fun legal battle right now. Besides, I think the blue skin tone's a fun new take and helps unify them more with the pink of Drac and the purple of Clawdeen. Anyways, I didn't want to just redraw Frankie's outfit 1 for 1, so I chose to make the sleeves a little bit longer. I did want to make them kind of puffier, sort of like a blouse, but then I realized you wouldn't be able to see their cool arm stitches, so I wrote them up. In addition to the skirt, I gave them 1 trouser leg to show that kind of mismatching school uniform, giving a fun asymmetrical look, while also putting emphasis on their prosthetic leg, kind of like some of their other dolls do. But I also wanted to give one of the ghouls trousers again, since there's a lot of skirts and shorts going on. The shoes are shoes. I'm not the best at drawing shoes, and I wanted to try and make them a little different from the pink trainers they had, but they're not really my favorite, so let's just move on from them. A big thing I also wanted to avoid was changing their femininity, as I think it's really cool Frankie's able to show a spectrum of androgyny, sometimes presenting more feminine, sometimes a little more masculine, and somewhere in between. For a big change, I want to scrap the second clothes feature the core dolls had in favor of giving them school blazers, personalized to each one, kind of setting in stone that they go to Monster High, you know? So Frankie, I chose an old blazer that had been ripped up, stitched back together, and cropped. A little like them. Although, when I say it like that, it does sound really rude. Sorry, Frankie. And here's the final result. I do think I could have pushed the academic side a little bit more, or maybe I could have tweaked the patterns a bit, but I do love the little ascot tie and the wide-eyed expression, so that's still a win for me. I also drew a few accessories they could come with and their pet Watsy. So just ignore the start bit, since I started redrawing my Draculaura design completely and forgot to hit record partway through line art. My bad. But Drac is another one of my faves this generation. It took me a bit to come around to her, mostly because I was a bit on a hate train about her getting so many dolls and being so popular just because she's pink. You know, just making sure I didn't fit in. Nobody gets me sort of vibe. But the moment I actually gave her a chance with her Ultimate Secret Series 1 doll, I've loved her ever since. And I can finally admit, her core outfit is like the best of all the ghouls. I mean, come on, the blouse, the bows, her cute little pumps, the cape? I do wish she came with a hat instead of a headband, but we finally did get that in her core refresh look, so I can forgive. The most I wanted to change was just more detail on her outfit, so I stitched her sleeves to be separated puffs, kind of like a core refresh doll, and turned her shorts into a cute little skirt, because I thought it'd flow better with the blouse. And I really wanted to play up her gothic romance side, so I gave her rose earrings to kind of match her pendant, and her new heart accessories. Now, where I had previously mentioned I wish she came with a hat instead of a headband, I didn't give her the hat back for some reason and instead chose space buns. I think it's because I thought it'd make for a cooler silhouette and really fun to play the split hair dye blend by having a little bit of black going on the pink side and a little bit of pink on the black side. In the end, I kind of wish I'd given the hat, but I do really love when they play around with Drax's hair blend and fringe style, so I forgive myself. I also gave her some sharp nails just to add to the overall drama. I raised her socks more to thigh highs and gave them a cobweb pattern to be spooky. I thought about roses, but then I thought it might have been a bit too much pattern clashing going on, and I wanted her pumps to be a bit more exciting than just the OG plaid ones, so I tried incorporating the strap patterns from the G1 boots in. I don't think it makes sense, but it really does help them pop more. For her blazer, I wanted it to look a bit more traditional and older, as if it was like an original blazer from the school's opening, but flare it up with some sharp edges and a collar, which I think really helps solidify her look, and it makes her look a lot more academic and fitting in the school setting now. And here's the final result. I didn't have too much to say, as I think you can't really go wrong with Drac. She's pretty malleable and can fit into a lot of different styles, so I didn't exactly change her much. I also drew a few accessories she could come with, and her pet count fabulous. Now, with Clawdeen is where we start actually hitting the changes, as Clawdeen's my second favourite ghoul this generation. I think most of her dolls have really good screenings, and I like her colour combos, but for the first few lines she was plagued with polypropylene hair, which meant you couldn't really style it at all and it get frizzy and messy way too quick. Alongside a little too many animal prints and extra moon motifs like, we get it girl, take a break. It feels like a lot is happening, but also nothing at the same time, if you get me. But I forgive it, because I really love the concept of the whole piece. I wish she would give her overalls a second chance already. So to start, I'm changing her hair color to darker brown, to better match her core refresh and monster ball doll, because the brown hair just works better with the color cohesion between purple, gold, and brown. And while I still like the idea of rose gold hair, I've got too many bad memories of the frizz, so we can say goodbye. I also darkened the magenta to a purple, just to better match her outfit, while also splitting the hair to frame her face on both sides, not just the one on the doll. But also, it kind of reminds me of Alia from Miraculous with her front hair bits. The top bun stays because it makes for a fun silhouette, but also I wanted to keep showing off her edges. For the outfit, I heavily reduced the moon motifs, because we don't need that many. So she still has her moon pendant and earrings, but I snuck in some moons on her overall buttons, and for her belt, I just made it a black belt with gold hoops that ends with a crescent moon instead, which with the reduced amount, it makes the moons pop out way more now. She also has a gold eyebrow piercing, just because I thought it'd make her look cool, and also it could match Frankie's. I made her top more of a baggy off-the-shoulder jumper with a heavily reduced tiger print pattern, and I moved the leopard or cheetah print pattern down to her socks, which are now leg warmers. And while I was there, I inverted the color of the socks and shoes, just because I thought the back shoes better blend with the gold and make them pop more. And the purple makes for a fun pattern and stronger center color scheme. But the dungarees, they seemed a bit flat and boring, with just a tiny bit of flare trim around them, so I decided to make it longer and cuffed with bits of ripped denim or fur coming out of it, as well as pockets peeping through, just to give a little implication of detail and the fact that these dungarees are functional. I also threw in a leg race, since Clawdeen's shown to be a bit more sporty and active, as well as being on the basketball team, so I just thought to harken back to that, as well well it really helps play up her active vibe. Last but not least, I wanted to keep her glasses but just make them slimmer, because I really like Clawdeen with glasses. They make her look so cute. But what were those chunky squares they gave her on her initial release? Like, they look bad, no wonder people were put off by them. For her blazer, I wanted to make it look big on her, as if it was a hand-me-down from Claude, even though he was, like, elsewhere, but don't think about it. But I threw on some leopard print just to make it hers. And here's the final result. I really like how she turned out. She's definitely my second favorite redraw of the whole cast. I also drew a few accessories she could come with, as well as her pet Crescent. Now, where Clawdeen was my second favorite ghoul, Cleo is my #1 favorite ghoul. I think she has some of the best G3 dolls, hands down. Her Refresh, Gorganizer, Monsterfest, Skulltimate Secret Series 4, she is just the doll to me. I wish her core outfit matched more with her prototype and box design more, but supposedly kids didn't really like it during playtests, so they ended up giving her a completely different look, which sucks. But I don't think the one we got was too bad. It's supposed to be a sort of blazer dress look, which I like in concept, but the execution feels a little too boring and boxy, so I really wanted to reduce that. I started off deciding to put more emphasis on her jewels and glamour, keeping her necklace, earrings, belt, and headpiece, but I wanted to give her more of a tight form-fitting dress. Or maybe it's like a top with a skirt combo. I don't know, I kind of drew the outfit and sort of just went with it with this one. I kept her OG pattern because I didn't want to throw that out, so I incorporated back in on the top and a little bit at the side on the skirts. However, I really wanted to play up more of a drapey, gold, glittery fabrics along her, as well as making sure there was cyan to pop against her dark blue hair. The plan was for the shoes to be sort of like mummy-wrapped boots with occasional holes in them, but I ended up just drawing strappy heels, so I guess I'm going with that now. Like I said, I'm not the best with shoes, and I'm trying here, but I was really happy adding the mummy-wrap arm warmers back. It's just a staple item for her design, and it really does help break up her outfit a bit more. Her hair was already cute as it was, even it was a bit of a 50-50 if you got poly or saran variants, so I chose to make little changes by really playing up that side part fringe, a small pulled back ponytail on her left side, and a few more gold strands because I think Cleo looks really good with gold and blonde mixed into her hair blend. I also really liked her makeup. I wanted to make it a lot more sharper and cat-eyed, but I ended up making it a lot more drapier, which I really think helped with the dramatic flair of her. For a blazer, I wanted to reference the OG blazer concept as a fun throwback, but also making it look a lot more preppy and private school-esque. I decided to make it teal to make it jump out from her usual color scheme, while also referencing her older sister Nephra. And here's the final result. I was a bit hesitant about her redesign and wondered if I should have gone with more of a Y2K preppy look for her, but the more I looked at her, the happier I am with it. It's just something simple and chic, and the kind of thing Cleo would go for, although maybe it's not her chicest look. I also drew a few accessories she could come with, and a new old pet Hisette. Sorry Tart, but I never really cared for you. That's right, I think Deuce deserves to be included in the core group. He played a bigger part in both the live-action movies as well as the TV show, which is my favourite take on him. But even in concept art of The Staircase by Anna Kaddish, who did a lot of G3's concept art, Deuce is featured with the ghouls. But then mysteriously, when it came to final release, they redrew over it and removed him. Justice for my boy Deuce, he deserves more love. Okay, that's enough Deuce love for now. Let me be honest, his doll is very mid. I think the biggest issue with him is just colour choices. His skin tone feels like a nice change, but his hair colour is way too vibrant saturated green with like nothing interesting going on. And then he has these very dark colours for his shirt, jacket and cargo, sweatpants things, but then also having orange, purple and red just sort of thrown in there with no connection between any of them. So starting off, I changed his hair design to be a bit more interesting with that combed over sort of look, and giving it a gradient like his older dolls to add some depth. I kind of pictured his hair snakes acting sort of like locks, so I'm kind of surprised I didn't think to experiment with Deuce and his hairstyles like that in G3. I also gave him a bottom lip and some eyeliner, because I really hate how boy dolls get little to no makeup, which make them really stand out from the other dolls in the wrong ways, just kind of looking unfinished. Again, justice for boy designs. Trading in his snake tank top, I went with a simple black jumper with a gold jacquard design going around the trims in reference to his heritage, along with a necklace since all the girls get necklaces, so why can't he get one? His jacket was already fine to me, it just needed to look a bit more exciting, so I raised the cuff sleeves so the jumper would poke out more, feeling a bit baggier, as well as giving him a few gold buttons in there, just to add some details. Since it felt like a lot of black was going on, I changed his cargo sweats to purple jeans to make the green and reds pop out a lot more, although in the end I do wish I kept the cargo sweats, as I did think it made for an interesting bottom silhouette around the shoes. But then again, the scale patterns around the knees and pockets look cool, so I can forgive myself. The shoes are barely changed, as the original snakehead pattern on them was just way too cool and thought out to get rid of, so I just added in some extra colours to pop the sections more. And to better tie in the shoes to his design, I changed the glasses so they have red rims, and that way it also matches his OG glasses too. Never really got why they changed his glasses to just be black squares. It's a bit boring. Deuce's blazer is probably the most boring one of them all. Since he already came with a jacket, it just kind of felt like another jacket that looks a bit similar, so I tried making it darker to jump out a bit more. Maybe it would have been more interesting if I gave him Monster High hoodie to wear under his denim jacket instead. It was also at this point I realized I'd been putting the school emblems on the wrong side of the blazer, so just ignore what I did for everyone else. It's probably fixed in the final picture anyway. And here's the final result. I loved how Deuce turned out and how much more interesting and colourful he reads, really fitting back into the group more. I also drew a few accessories he could come with, and his pet Perseus. So, remember when I said not straying too far from the OG concept? Well, ignore that. Lagoona is the character who I think had objectively the worst core doll, and not even because of the reason you think. I really like Pink Lagoona. I think her new skin tone makes her jump out from the group really well, while also helping to pop the blonde in her hair and leading to more interesting design choices, like the see-through blue legs. But my problem with her comes from her color palettes. Lagoona ends up getting stuck with a lot of orange peaches, blues, and greens, when I think something like yellow or purple would look really nice on her. It's because of this, I was really struggling with Lagoona. I couldn't decide on her fashion style, her outfit, or even her hairstyles. I didn't want it to be straight hair, so I definitely knew she wanted waves, but do I make it more referential to G1? Do I do a big bush of wavy hair? Do I do braids? In the end, I decided to scrap the athleisure style she has in favor of more tropical holiday sort of look. So for this, I wanted to incorporate her swimsuit into her outfit and be something you can take off to go swimming and then put back on so like she's ready to go hang out at the mall, sort of like her G1 outfit. I changed the swimsuit from the dark green to the orange peach colours of her hoodie, while also adding in some black stripes to the side to make it more dynamic, and really playing up the frills so it looks a bit more of like a romper than a swimsuit. For her hair and makeup, I ended up taking inspiration from Gangaru Garu, as I thought it'd play really well into this bright tropical vibe I wanted for her. So lots of bleached blonde hair at the back, colourful makeup, accented by white, which I think pop off her pink skin tone really well. I just love how big and fishy her eyes turned out. To bring that yellow that I said would look good on her, I finally decided that she should wear a yellow blouse with 2 layers and have tropical flower print going over it, which I think ties into the beachy vibe really well, especially with her wedge sandals tied together by sea rope. She definitely has my favourite shoe design out of all of them, I think. It always felt weird she had blue legs, but not blue arms, so let's remedy that. I also decided to give it a sea wave pattern over it, just because I thought it would look cool. For accessories, I was struggling to make them actually fit in while not clouding over the look, so I tried to keep it simple with white pearls, a shell bracelet, and the purple gem shell necklace being the outlier. I did want to incorporate some fishnets, but I just don't think it was working out. I also did experiment with a fishnet sleevey top, but I don't think it worked out, so I ended up scrapping it. For her blazer, I think she is the weakest one of them all. I just made it a very loose open brown blazer, held together by a conch shell, but it does look nice when paired with the blouse at least. And here's the final result. Despite all the trouble and indecision I had with her, she is hands down my favourite design of the lot. Even if she's completely different from her core look, I would love to make a custom of her one day. I also did draw her with bubble looking braids as a separate alt, maybe for when she's swimming. And here's a few accessories I think she could come with, as well as her pet Neptuna. And that's the whole Ghoul Squad done. It was a really fun process drawing all of them, especially when I remembered the ruler tool existed halfway through. Lagoona and Clawdeen and Frankie are definitely my top 3. But let me know who you like in the comments below, or even how you would have styled their character. It's always fun hearing people's different opinions and ideas on the character, probably why I like looking at Monster High restyles so much. I know I'm still interested in redesigning some of the other characters in the initial release, such as Ghoulie and Toralei, as they got done dirty for sure, but don't think there's really enough for part 2, as I really like characters like Twyla and Abby, and it's not like I could even touch characters like Venus or Kai, they're perfect as is. So maybe let me know if there's other characters you might want to see redesigned, or even characters who haven't got dolls yet to be redesigned like Iris and Manny. I also just wanted to give a quick thank you to, well, you! I didn't expect such a positive reception and nice comments, let alone to my first video. I've been really enjoying reading through all the comments, so thank you again for watching and subscribing. I also want to give a big special shout out and thank you to my friend Nick, who's been sharing my video around in different Discord servers and communities without me even realizing. So thank you Nick, love you! But I hope you had a good time watching and have a great spooky rest of your day or Halloween. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. See ya!